to begin again.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think my husband already gave me a very beautiful introduction about myself, beautiful wife. Okay, so looking back at our time, we make a lot of mistakes in our life. For myself, I went through a tough patch. At a very young age, I do have a very, very conservative and strict parents. So during my school, I do have curfews. I have to be home by 7. Then anything I have to report to my parents. But at the age of 12, I get to know that my mother was pregnant with a younger sister. So there's a very huge age gap between me and my sister, 13 years. So I think during that point of time, I feel that I kind of missed out the attention from my parents. So I seek attention through my friends. Okay, so at a very young age, 12 years old, I already started involve myself with drugs. So how do I get to know drugs? Okay, when we were young, everything about us is about curiosity. We want to know about a lot of things. So happens that one of the day I saw one of my friends actually was sniffing glue. I was curious, what is this guy doing? Okay, so for me, having strict parents, I do study all that. During my time, we don't have gadgets, all that. I went to the library actually to research what is drugs all about. Even though reading about drugs, I know about the side effects, the withdrawal symptoms, but I just so curious, how does drug really feels when you took it? So end up I took drugs. Okay, so it continued until my secondary school. I continued to try other types of drugs from party pills, heroin, meth, almost everything during that point of time. But I never neglect my studies. I still scared of my parents. I having a so-called like a dual personality. In front of my parents, I was very good and decent student, daughter. So I will be behind the closed door. I told my parents, okay, I need to study, But in between my tie, I was hiding the plastic with glue inside because I was sniffing. I didn't really study. And having my parents who are very strict, don't mix around, we don't have any family members involved in drugs. So they don't able to see the red flag. How do people look when they do drugs? Because their imagination, okay, when they watch movie, they watch TV, okay, they see people take drugs, sit one corner, never study, never do anything around the streets, look horrible. But there's also a drug abuser like me. We hide behind the actual fact that we look like a student, we look like a career woman, we can look almost like normal like everyone else. But we are substance abuser. So I continue to take drugs all the way until to the extent I even injected drugs into my system. Okay, so at the age of 18, I went to poly. Okay, I studied diploma in nursing. So I got skill. Okay, I got skill how to inject. Okay, so what happened was that because when we inject substance, okay, we actually melt down the pills. So there sure will be, a bit of debris, dust, entering. So it might got stuck at our vein. So I have a lot of swollen, arms, thigh. I injected everywhere. So I was thinking, hey, I cannot hide. Until to the extent when some of my lecturers saw me. They thought I was being abused at home by my parents. And I was so scared that they report to my parents. So I find a way how to actually clean up myself. So that is where from diploma in nursing I learned to, clean the system. Okay? But moving forward, okay, fast forward lah. Okay? I got hepatitis C. So at very young age, 21, I have liver inflammation. That also doesn't stop me to take drugs. The only thing that stopped me to take drugs, I went to a drug rehab center twice, okay? But it doesn't really make me afraid until that one moment when I was in prison, I lost my younger brother. I cannot go out. I think my family was feeling ashamed, feeling guilty, don't want me to go out with shackle, all that. So I cannot see my brother for the last time. So that was my turning point in my life. So I promised to myself while I was inside, I do a lot of self-reflection, I want to change. So I take the courage to move forward. I went out, I find my job back, I go back to my previous job, ask them whether can I join back the company. And I was very thankful. They are very supportive community, supportive company, supportive bosses. They accepted me back, not looking at my past, not looking at my so-called personal issues, but they are looking at me for my work performance. Then I'm very glad of that. So I promised myself to go for further study. So now I graduated in Master in Construction Project Management. I managed to find something else interesting in my life because I cannot go back to nursing due to my illness. Okay, because I can, pass that hepatitis C to my patient in case anything because it's blood contact lah. Okay. So I further my study, then to the extent, during my incarceration, I almost have 120k debts. So I disciplined myself to clear my debts with debts repayment scheme through Ministry of Law. And I just recently in June completed my debts. So now I am debt free as well. What I'm trying to share today is that for us, ex-offender, we want to change. We need every support, not only from family, from friends, but also from community. Because this ecosystem that we have will help us to go through, the painful moment, the painful stage, even with a very kind words or affirmation, make us want to go forward and change. So that's why my title, The Courage to Begin Again. This courage is coming from people surrounding me, no one else. Because we cannot do recovery alone. We have to do together with our family, friends, and community. And I'm very thankful that having to know our two founders, Sebastian and Dr. Nick, they have been very supportive with us, giving us the platform to actually share our stories and so that the community will be able to understand us, give us the second chance, and to prevent further stigma towards ex-offender. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.